are here in Chief Magistrate Court 1, Gusau, where the Zamfara State Police Command is arraigning two cases. Number one is criminal conspiracy, culpable homicide, cannibalism, and dealing with human part. If you could remember, on 13 January 2022, the Commissioner of Police, Zamfara State Police Command, CP Ayuba Elkana, PSC Daga, had paraded 5 suspects in connection with this crime. And today, the police, having concluded investigation, charge the suspect to court so that they can be arraigned before a chief magistrate court for proceeding and possible prosecution of the suspect. And then the second suspect is a fake lawyer. A person that was arrested while impersonating as a lawyer who has been appearing in different courts, acting as a lawyer to some client. So he was arrested, and if you could remember, yesterday we paraded him, and today we are also charging him to court, and that is why we brought him here in this court to face the chief magistrate for the proceeding and his possible prosecution. So that is the main reason why we are here this afternoon.
Figaro, in the course of your investigation with regards to that Cannibal, what were you able to find out so far?
During the press briefing, we have interviewed the suspect, and you heard his confessional statement that yes, he contracted that Abdul Shakur to source the human part for him at the rate of 500,000 naira. And he did it for the first time. He gave him the 500,000 naira. He did it for the second time. He gave him another 500,000 naira. And he did it for the third time, where he was finally arrested. So what we discovered is that, having confessed to the alleged crime, the suspect has been engaging in these heinous or bizarre crimes, I can call it, and that is why today himself and his partners in this crime were brought to this court for prosecution. I believe at the end of the proceeding, or maybe if you can, though what I'm trying to say is that even though we have charged him to court today, the investigation does not end. We are still moving ahead, using some of the revelations we got from him and his other partners in crime that may likely lead to the arrest of some people who engage themselves in this dastardly crime. No, we told you he confessed to have contracted this boy for 3 times. So meaning that this is not the first time he has been committing this crime. It means he has been in this act for some time. Are you getting me? Since he did it for the first time, the second time, and the third time, he was finally arrested. Now, we have been charging them to court. We, the police, as a law enforcement agency, and also elite security in internal security, we cannot compromise whatever that would breach the peace and the tranquility of this country. So we have been charging all the suspects that we have been arresting for heinous crime to court. But this is part of the strategy to keep members of the public well informed on the activities of the police and the outcome of our activities. So, inshallah, we will keep on doing this to ensure that members of the public are well informed on the outcome of whatever we are doing, as we have been doing for the press briefing, to call members of the press and brief them on the successes achieved. So this is part of the strategies, and I will keep on doing it. But what I want to assure you is that we don't compromise whatever that will bring problem to the security and the safety of Zamfara State. What I'm saying in essence is that all the suspects, especially these bandits that we have arrested before, have been charged to court for prosecution.
Yes, my client, the convict, Chukwuka Jude, personated legal practitioner. That is to say, he claimed to be a legal practitioner and indeed tried to practice in a court, in a Sharia court here, when he was discovered, or rather caught, by one of our colleagues. And then he was investigated and found not to be a lawyer as he claimed. Today, that happened on the 18th of this month, 18th of January 2022. Today, he's been arraigned, and there was summary trial because he admitted the content of the FIR. There are 2 counts. One, personating a lawyer. The other is cheating by personation. The first one carries an imprisonment term of 3 years or an option of fine. The second imprisonment term, if convicted, of 7 years or with option of fine, or both fine and imprisonment. So that is where we are. He was convicted, and on the first count, he was sentenced to imprisonment term, or rather a fine of 50,000 naira, or in default, or imprisonment for a term of 6 months. For the second one, he was sentenced to a term of 1 year without option of fine. And if he defaults in paying the 50,000 naira, he's going to spend the whole 1.5 years in prison, because the magistrate pronounced that in that case, the sentence will run consecutively. The meaning is that he will spend the 6 months as well as the 1 year, in case he fails to pay the fine. But if he's able to pay the fine of 50,000 naira, he spends 1 year only. Well, what can I say? It is the discretion of the magistrate, and he has acted within the limits of his powers as donated by law, except in the case of the fine, which I'm afraid is far in excess of what he should impose. The 50,000, yes.
So what
Yes.
are you going to do?
Well, we are going to look at that and then know what next to do.
You are
Because
satisfied with the second,
yes, because it is within his limit, the limit of his powers to do so.
he's going to
So,
stay in prison for 1 year.
he has to. He has to. We will not pursue an appeal because he has power to impose a term of imprisonment up to 3 years. The maximum is 3 years. And then that is because of the legal notice of 1986 enacted by the then military governor of Sokoto State under section 157 subsection 2 of the CPC. And then that is punishment. Limits, that law provides for punishment, the limits of punishment when a person is tried and convicted summarily, just as we had in this case.
Allah shi san